My sister hijacked my wedding and shouted, "He was never yours." My groom let her talk, then opened his phone, pressed play, and watched her smile fade as the truth played loud enough for everyone to hear. It was a crisp autumn afternoon in Boston, Massachusetts, when I found myself standing at the altar, heart pounding with a mix of exhilaration and nervous anticipation. The historic Old South Church, with its grand Gothic architecture and towering spires, was filled with friends and family who had gathered to witness the union between me and the love of my life, Daniel. As the organist began the familiar strains of Pachelbel's Canon in D, the massive wooden doors at the back of the church creaked open. All heads turned in unison, expecting to see me, the bride, make my grand entrance. Instead, a collective gasp echoed through the hallowed halls as my younger sister, Olivia, strode confidently down the aisle. She was adorned in a flowing white gown, eerily similar to the one I had painstakingly chosen months prior. Her dark hair was styled in an elegant updo, and a delicate veil cascaded down her back. Clutching a bouquet of white roses, she smiled radiantly at the bewildered guests. Murmurs of confusion rippled through the congregation. My mother, seated in the front pew, looked mortified, while my father's face turned an alarming shade of crimson. Daniel stood at the altar, his expression a mixture of shock and disbelief. Reaching the front of the church, Olivia turned to face the assembled guests. She took a deep breath, her voice ringing out clear and unwavering. "Dear family and friends," she began, "I know this is highly unorthodox, but I cannot, in good conscience, allow this ceremony to proceed without revealing the truth." A hushed silence fell over the crowd. My heart sank as I stood frozen in the vestibule, hidden from view, but able to hear every word. "Daniel and I have been involved in a romantic relationship for the past 6 months, Olivia declared. "He was never truly yours, and it's time everyone knew." Gasps and whispers erupted throughout the church. My vision blurred with tears, and my knees threatened to give way beneath me. How could this be happening? Daniel, my Daniel, had been unfaithful with my own sister? I forced myself to look at Daniel. His face had gone pale, but he remained composed. Slowly, he reached into the pocket of his tailored suit and retrieved his smartphone. Without a word, he tapped the screen a few times and then held it up, pressing play on an audio recording. Olivia's voice filled the church, unmistakable and clear. "Daniel, I know you're marrying my sister, but I've always had feelings for you. I can't stand by and watch you two together. Please, tell me you feel the same." The recording continued, capturing Daniel's response. "Olivia, I'm flattered, but I love your sister. She's the one I want to spend my life with. I'm sorry if I've given you the wrong impression, but my heart belongs to her." The color drained from Olivia's face as the weight of the evidence bore down upon her. The congregation sat in stunned silence, processing the shocking turn of events. Daniel lowered his phone and turned to address the guests. "I apologize for this disruption," he said, his voice steady. "But I want to make it clear that my commitment has always been to my fiancé. I have never been unfaithful, and I deeply regret the pain this situation has caused." He then turned to me, his eyes searching mine with earnest sincerity. Summoning every ounce of strength, I stepped forward from the shadows and joined him at the altar. The room seemed to hold its breath as I took his hand, a silent affirmation of my trust and love. Olivia stood motionless, her eyes welling with tears. Without another word, she turned and fled down the aisle, the train of her gown trailing behind her. The heavy doors closed behind her with a resounding thud. The officiant cleared his throat, attempting to regain composure. "Shall we proceed?" he inquired gently. I glanced at Daniel, who gave my hand a reassuring squeeze. Taking a deep breath, I nodded. "Yes, let's continue." The ceremony resumed, albeit with a palpable tension lingering in the air. Vows were exchanged, rings were slipped onto fingers, and finally, Daniel and I were pronounced husband and wife. As we shared our first kiss as a married couple, applause erupted. though it was tinged with the residual shock of the earlier spectacle. In the days that followed, the incident became the talk of the town. Olivia went into seclusion, her actions having alienated much of our family and friends. I grappled with a whirlwind of emotions, betrayal, sadness, and a profound sense of loss for the sister I thought I knew. Daniel remained my steadfast anchor, his unwavering support helping me navigate the tumultuous aftermath. We sought counseling to strengthen our bond and address the wounds inflicted by Olivia's actions. Months later, I received a letter from Olivia. In it, she expressed deep remorse for her behavior, attributing it to a combination of jealousy and personal struggles she had been facing. She admitted to fabricating the affair in a misguided attempt to derail our wedding, hoping to claim Daniel for herself. While forgiveness was not immediate, time and reflection allowed me to find a semblance of peace. Olivia and I began the slow process of rebuilding our fractured relationship, though it would never be quite the same. The experience left an indelible mark on our lives, a stark reminder of the complexities of human emotions and the fragile nature of trust. Yet, through it all, Daniel and I emerged stronger, our love tested, but ultimately unbroken. As we celebrated our first anniversary, we did so with a deeper appreciation for the vows we had exchanged and the resilience of our union. The shadows of the past still lingered, but they served as a testament to the trials we had overcome and the enduring strength of our commitment to one another. The months after the wedding weren't peaceful, not like I had hoped. At first, it felt like the worst was behind us. People stopped asking about Olivia. Daniel and I got used to our quiet life, trying to move on. But I always felt something off. Like a thread was pulled, and I couldn't find where it started or how far it would go. 3 months after the wedding, my mom called me. She was crying. I thought something had happened to Dad. But no, it was about Olivia. She's in trouble, my mom said. She's been staying with a man. We don't know who. She doesn't answer calls. She looks different. I didn't know how to respond. Trouble didn't surprise me. Olivia had always walked close to the edge. But this was new. Mom begged me to check on her. I didn't want to, not after what she did. But a part of me still wanted answers. Not closure. Just understanding. Why she did it. How far it went. So, I agreed. I called Olivia. She picked up on the 3rd ring. "Why are you calling me?" she asked. Her voice sounded hollow, not angry, just tired. "Mom's worried. She says you're staying with someone. That you don't talk to anyone anymore." Silence. Then she laughed. Not loud. Quiet. A laugh with no humor. "You wouldn't understand," she said. "But you'll find out. Sooner than you think." I didn't like that. Her words stayed with me. A week later, Daniel and I came home to find our front door slightly open. Nothing inside was taken, but someone had been there. Our wedding photos were taken off the wall and thrown face down. Just ours. Only the ones with me and him. We called the police. They didn't find signs of forced entry. Said it might have been a prank. Daniel changed the locks. Installed cameras. A few days later, we got a package. No return address. Inside was a USB drive. Daniel plugged it in. One video file. It was security footage. Looked like it was taken from a hallway camera in an apartment building. It showed Olivia. She was screaming at someone behind a closed door. "Let me in. You owe me. You promised you'd get rid of her." She kicked the door. The camera caught her face. She looked worn out. Makeup smeared. Hair messy. Like she hadn't slept in days. Then a man's voice came from behind the door. "You're crazy, Olivia. We were just playing a game. I never meant to actually go through with it. You're the one who said you could flip the whole thing." The video ended. Daniel sat back, his jaw tight. I was frozen. That wasn't a prank. That wasn't just a lie from a jealous sister. There was something more, something dangerous. "What does that mean?" I asked. He shook his head. "I don't know. But someone sent this to us for a reason. Then it got worse. The next day, I got an email. No subject. No sender. Inside was a photo of Daniel, taken that morning. He was at the coffee shop down the block. It was from a distance, like a phone photo. The message under it was simple. You still trust him? I didn't show him the email at first. I didn't want to believe it. I wanted to protect what we had. But that question, it burned in my brain. Later that night, I brought it up. Showed him the photo. He stared at it for a long time. Then he looked at me. Someone's trying to tear us apart, he said. She's not done. I wanted to believe him, but now doubt had teeth. The next few days, I started to look through things. Not because I didn't trust Daniel, but because I had to be sure. I went through his old messages, his old photos. I found a few deleted pictures of Olivia from before the wedding. Nothing inappropriate, but odd. One was a selfie of her and Daniel, taken in his car. She was in the passenger seat, smiling. He looked annoyed. It was dated 2 months before our wedding. He had never mentioned being with her in private like that. When I asked him, he said it was just a ride. She had asked for help, said her car broke down. Why did you delete it? I asked. He paused. Because I knew how it would look. That answer didn't help. Now I wasn't sure what the truth was anymore. That night, I got another email. Another video. This time, it was Olivia again. She was in some kind of motel room, crying. Her face was red, makeup streaked. She was holding a knife. I tried everything. I gave everything, she said. He said he would leave her. He said he loved me, and then he lied. She screamed at the camera. I'm not the crazy one. He is. He used me. You're all just blind. The video cut off. I couldn't sleep that night. My mind was spinning. What if she wasn't lying? What if Daniel did say those things? What if this wasn't jealousy, but something that started with him? Daniel said she was unstable. He said she made it up. But what if both were true? The worst part? I didn't know who I was supposed to be angry at anymore. That's where we are now. My house doesn't feel safe. My marriage doesn't feel solid. My family is a mess. And I can feel something bigger creeping closer. Like we've only seen part of the storm. I haven't replied to Olivia. I haven't confronted Daniel again. I don't know what I'll do yet. But I do know this. Someone is lying. And it won't stay buried for long. The day after the last video, I stayed home from work. I needed time to think. The quiet didn't help. Every sound made me flinch. I watched the camera feeds Daniel had installed. Over and over. No one had come near our door since the break-in. Nothing new. But that didn't mean it was over. I decided to check the USB again. The one with the hallway footage. There was something strange about it I hadn't noticed the first time. The file name. It was just a long string of letters and numbers, but in the middle, I saw a date. April 17th, 19. That was over a year before the wedding. I checked my calendar app from back then, just to see. That was the week Daniel told me he was going out of town for work. He'd gone to New York for a conference. He texted me pictures of his hotel room. Sent me photos of his name badge. I remembered thinking it was sweet he kept checking in. Now I wasn't sure any of it was real. I went back to our text messages from that week. Something didn't add up. The hotel he said he stayed at? No matching logo in the room photos. I googled the place. It didn't even have rooms with that kind of furniture. I called the hotel. No record of a Daniel under his full name. I asked him again that night, as calmly as I could. Where were you in April last year? You told me New York. He looked up from his laptop, confused. Yeah, I was. I didn't say anything else. I just handed him my phone, showed him the hotel info. Then the USB file name. Then the footage again. He stared at it. I wasn't there, he said quietly. I don't know how she got that. Then where were you? I was here. Why'd you lie about being in New York? He didn't speak right away. He looked like someone cornered. I needed space, he said. I wasn't sure about us at the time. So I told you I had a conference. I stayed at a friend's place. Alone. Which friend? He hesitated. James. I knew James. I called him after Daniel left for a walk. James didn't even pause. Daniel stayed with me once, but that was 2 years ago. Not last year. Why? I didn't answer. I just hung up. That night, I slept in the guest room. Daniel didn't try to stop me. The next morning, I woke up to another message. This time, not an email. It was a text. From a blocked number. One line. He lied to both of us. Attached was a screenshot of a plane ticket. Daniel's name. Departure, Boston. Arrival, Philadelphia. Date? April 17th, 2019. I felt sick. That was the week Olivia had gone to a writing retreat near Philly. She had bragged about it on Facebook. Posted about how peaceful it was. I pulled up her posts. One had a blurry selfie from a park. There was a man in the background, mostly cut off, turning away from the camera. His head was down, but the profile looked familiar. It looked like Daniel. I called her. She didn't pick up. So I messaged, "What happened in Philly?" Don't lie. No reply. But 2 hours later, I got a knock at the door. It was Olivia. She looked rough. Pale. Thin. Like she hadn't been eating. Her hands shook as she held out a small notebook. I wrote everything down, she said. I didn't plan to, but I had to remember what was real. I didn't let her in. I just took the notebook and shut the door. Daniel wasn't home. I sat at the kitchen table and opened it. Page after page. All dates. Descriptions. Text messages written out. Memories. His words. Her words. He told her I was cold. Said I use people. Promised to leave me. She had written about the motel video too. Said she sent it in anger. Not because she wanted to ruin me, but because she wanted someone to finally believe her. Then she wrote something that changed everything. He told me he wasn't in love with either of us. He said he wanted freedom. That he never wanted to get married. That he just felt trapped and played a role. She said he ghosted her a month before the wedding. She snapped. That's when she decided to confront him at the church. And then the final twist, on the last page, Olivia claimed she wasn't the one who sent the USB, or the photos, or the texts after the wedding. I was planning to, but I didn't. Someone else did. I think someone else was watching us the whole time. I think Daniel was seeing someone else even while he was with me. They knew everything. And they're angry too. I stared at that page for a long time. Who was it? Who else had reason to come after us? That night, I confronted Daniel. Told him everything Olivia said. Asked him to admit it. He didn't deny any of it. I didn't want to marry anyone, he said. But I was already in too deep. It felt easier to go along with it than break everything apart. My legs went numb. You used both of us. He didn't look ashamed. Just tired. She pushed too hard, he said. You were safe. That's why I picked you. The house felt colder than I remembered. My whole body went numb. The truth hit me all at once. I wasn't chosen. I was the backup plan. And somewhere out there, someone else knew all of it. Someone who wasn't done yet. I didn't cry when he said it. I didn't scream. I just looked at him and said, "Get out." He left. No yelling, no fighting. Just walked out like it didn't matter. Like 3 years of dating and a wedding meant nothing. The door shut behind him and the silence after was louder than anything else. I sat at the kitchen table for hours with that notebook in front of me. The last line Olivia had written kept echoing in my head. They knew everything. And they're angry too. I started thinking back. Every person who had come to our wedding. Every message I'd gotten. Every shared post on social media. Something wasn't right. Someone else was behind those emails and the USB and that photo of Daniel at the coffee shop. Then it hit me. A girl named Melanie. She worked with Daniel in his department. They used to joke around at work parties. I remembered once Olivia asked me about her, said she noticed how much Daniel laughed when Melanie was around. I didn't pay attention back then. I messaged Melanie on Facebook. No response. Then I messaged her again, but this time just said, "I know it was you. You have 10 minutes to call me or I'm sending everything to HR." She called me in 3. Her voice was shaky. I didn't mean for it to go that far. So, it was her. She said Daniel had been sleeping with her too. Started a few months before the wedding. Promised her he was going to break up with me. Said he just needed time. Melanie said she only found out about Olivia when she saw the videos online, Olivia's breakdown, the fight at the church. She said Daniel told her Olivia was a stalker and crazy. She started digging. She found out about Philly. Found the security footage. Found Olivia's motel video in a shared cloud folder Daniel had used and never deleted. He played all of us, she said. But I wanted him to pay. I wanted you to know who you married. I hung up. No yelling. No threats. Just silence again. I took a week off work. Everyone thought I was sick. I didn't correct them. I spent that week collecting everything, screenshots, recordings, Olivia's notebook, emails, even Melanie's confession. I printed it all. Then I dropped it off at Daniel's office. Every manager. HR. His friends. Even his parents. And I didn't stop there. I posted everything on social media. Every video. Every screenshot. With dates. With names blurred except his. I wrote the story from the beginning. From the day of the wedding to the last lie he told. It spread fast. By that weekend, he was fired. His parents cut him off. People he'd known for years stopped talking to him. I found out he tried to get ahead of it. Told people I was insane, that Olivia was dangerous and Melanie was obsessed. But the truth hit too hard. Too much proof. The last time I saw him, he showed up at my apartment at night. I didn't open the door. I watched him on the security cam, standing there with his hands in his pockets. He didn't knock. He just stood there for a while. Then turned and left. I don't know where he is now. I don't care. Olivia disappeared again after it all blew up. I got one message from her. You were right. We both lost. But at least he lost more. She's right. But that doesn't mean I didn't mess up too. I let a man tell me who my sister was instead of asking her myself. I let doubt grow until it ate everything. I chose to believe what made me feel safe, not what made sense. I stayed too long. And I paid for it. Now I live alone. I sleep better. I see a therapist. I talk to my mom again. I'm rebuilding. Slowly. I don't hate Olivia anymore. I don't think I ever really did. She broke me, but she also cracked the lie wide open. Melanie was revenge I didn't plan. Olivia was the warning I ignored. And Daniel was the storm I walked right into, thinking I was safe under the umbrella he held. He burned every bridge, not just mine. I just made sure no one forgot the fire.